Well, this month of March is Women's Month, and we celebrate women who are doing outstanding things as well, just as much as we celebrate women who are in leadership positions and women who are going out there and changing the world. Today, we speak to one exceptional woman. Her name is Sinikiwe Kademaunga, and she has defied all odds. She was born with a condition that stopped her limbs from growing, but she hasn't let that define anything. She's a life coach, she's a blogger, and you know what? She's an inspiration. We talk to her today as we celebrate women. Sinikiwe, thank you so much for giving us this time to actually talk to us.
Thank you so much, Wendy.
Okay, so people tend to associate disability with poverty, with now you are not able to do specific things. How have you taken it? Can you just talk to us about your life and how you've gotten to where you are to this day?
Okay, I was born with a disability, and it was really difficult for my family to accept, especially my paternal family, to accept that I was born with a disability, and it even affected my parents' marriage. Because our culture, when something is bad, the mother is always to be blamed. Until my grandmother said, "Okay, give me this child and let me raise it," and I think up to date, it is the best decision that has ever happened in my life because I was raised by such a strong woman. My grandmother was really strong and she really believed in me. She raised me in a very normal way. She never saw my disability. But the challenge was in the society where people associate disability with so many negative things. And growing up is something that really used to bother me a lot because it made me feel that I was different from everyone. It made me hate myself so much because I felt like I was ugly, I was different, I was just not like the ordinary people. But growing up, I was like, okay, I really need to change that assumption that people
What was
have.
that driving force that made you say, you know what, I don't care what people think, I don't care what people are saying. I want to go out there and I want to conquer the world.
I think for me, firstly, it was the support that I was receiving from my grandmother because she told me that you can do anything that you want in life. And the second thing is the things that I was doing because I saw that, okay, I passed my grade 7, I passed my A level, my O level. I was like, okay, so I can actually live like a normal life. And also looking around, like seeing other people with disabilities who are actually doing very well. And I was like, okay, so it's possible. I can go out there and conquer the world and change people's perspective.
Well, indeed, and there is talk also about how we're trying to get people with disabilities to get equal opportunities, equal chances, and it being a woman, we're talking about gender equality.
Yeah.
So imagine we're looking at gender equality and also equality living with a disability. How have you seen that working out in our society? Are people being receptive? Are there equal opportunities, and what more can actually be done about that?
I think now people actually like doing things towards when it comes to disability. People are being receptive now, but I think a lot needs to be done. People really need education and just general education about disability because sometimes people behave in certain way just because they don't have the knowledge about disability. So I think a lot of education needs to be done and also involve women with disabilities in certain decision making processes or in certain programs or so that we can also come in with our own view towards whatever that we are discussing as women. So I think we really need to include women with disabilities.
Indeed, and I understand that you're a coach as
Yes.
well. Um, just tell us a little bit more about that. What kind of coaching do you do, and how did you end up becoming that sort of coach as well?
Okay, so I'm a confidence coach to be precise. So when I was growing up, I was at a boys' high school. I was at St. Faith's High, and when you're at a boys' high, like when you reach puberty, everyone is just looking, saying, okay, so this is the beautiful girl in the class. And for me, when I looked at myself, I didn't fit into that beauty standard. And even our media spaces where the models, they are like long legs, they are tall, they are this, and then whenever I looked at myself, I didn't look anything like that. So it made me hate myself so much, and I felt that I was different. I felt that I was ugly. But later on, I just told myself that this is who I am. I'm not going to change anything about myself. I'm beautiful in my own way. So that's what made me to say, okay, I need to really be a confidence coach. Because back then when I didn't have confidence, I lost a lot of opportunities for just not being confident enough. So I was like, let me also be someone's bridge to their to reach their maximum potential in life. So that's why I've decided to be a
Confidence coach, and of course a society will bridge confidence or beauty in a
Yes.
specific sort of
Specific way, yes.
manner, and you're out here and you're breaking that, and
yes.
you're saying, you know what, you can be confident in whatever it is that you're doing. And now doing this that you're doing, what have you done so far as a confidence coach, and who have you impacted so far, and what kind of work have you already done?
Okay, so far I've been speaking into schools because the issue of confidence and body image and self-esteem, it most affects teenage girls. So I've been working with a lot of schools like Gromont High, Roosevelt. I've gone to like a lot of schools, and I've also been working with churches as well. And the most church that I've worked with so far is AFM. And just any other ladies and even individuals, I get to see a lot of ladies, especially the issue of body image is really an issue with people. So a lot of people come to me, and I'm also a motivational speaker as well. So my message is always around believing in yourself, self-image, like body confidence and anything to do with confidence.
Well, that's very important, and I understand that you are finally starting. You got your license.
Yes.
You got your license to start actually operating as a confidence coach.
Yes.
Tell us about that and how that is going to make your operations a lot easier as well.
Okay, so all this way I've been working on getting my license, and finally I got it yesterday. And I think it's going to help me to go into certain spaces and even to also penetrate in the corporate world as well, to talk about confidence, because a lot of people really struggle with confidence, especially the issue of body image. People really struggle, so it's going to help me to penetrate into corporates and I don't know, even go international as well.
I'm going to be there. I will be supporting you all the way. That's
Thank
a fact. I'm one of your biggest fans.
Thank
And looking at some of the work that you've done, you've been in so many different parts of the world. I can't even just talk about just in the country, in the world. You've gotten all these opportunities. How did you get there?
Wow. So all I can say is social media has really been, I don't know, a miracle for me, because I started my career on social media. So yeah, social media has really helped me, because when I post things on social media, I'm not that much professional, because I try to make people relate to the day-to-day Sinikiwe. Yes, sometimes here there I get professional, but I try to just post my day-to-day life. So I've realized that people really relate to that Sinikiwe rather than the Sinikiwe on stage, because the stage Sinikiwe is rehearsed and squeaky clean and all of that. So I try to take people into my life. And yeah, I started as a blog which was called Life in the Shoes of a Short Girl, where I was just like revealing my life to the world. So I think that has really helped. People really relate to that Sinikiwe rather than the stage Sinikiwe.
So which parts of the world have you been to, and some of the organizations that you've worked with, or even some of the platforms that you've been able to speak at?
Okay, so I've been to Zambia, and I also went to Malawi, South Africa, and recently I was in India. I went to receive an award, a Pioneering Women Leader Award. Yeah, and I also have a lot of trips coming up. So starting from April up until December, I have a lot of trips. And the huge one that I'm really looking forward is I'm going to Oregon, Portland in September to also speak at a women's conference.
Well, we're hoping that the coronavirus that has been affecting the entire globe is not going to affect so many of these things that have been happening.
Exactly.
So much momentum that has been happening, and then now it's being just cut short because of this virus. But what would you say are some of the major challenges that you have faced, even just to where you are now, that you can say if some of these things are dealt with, or if some of these challenges were not there, you could get to a better place, or that things that can be actually dealt with?
Okay, I think the first one is just being a life coach on its own, because the life coaching industry, especially in Zimbabwe, it's a male-dominated industry. So, as a woman, and on top of that, being a woman with a disability, it's really difficult for me to like penetrate into this industry. But I thank God here I am now. And the other challenge that I faced is just like having a disability, because whenever you tell someone that, okay, I can be your confidence coach, people will be like, what can you tell me about confidence? So I think that's also another challenge. It has to do with people's attitude as well, because people have to see you maybe like do something for them to say, okay, you can actually help me to do that. So I think it's all about attitude. But for me, I've just decided to say I'll ignore all that noise and take those people who really like accept me, and then I work with those people and also penetrating with other organizations and institutions. But I think it's mostly attitude.
Indeed, it's
Yeah.
all about attitude and what you can say also to someone out there who needs that confidence. Some people may not know or what confidence really is and what it means and how they can attain it, or how they can go out there and grab it and say, you know what, I'm confident in myself. What do you have to say to a girl who doesn't know what she wants to do, or who's been said she can't do anything with her life?
Okay. So I always tell people that no one is really born confident. So confidence is something that you can build up. And the one most thing that really affects people's confidence is self-belief. We in life we get to like get limited by like the families that we come from, the situation that we face in life, our bodies, we just feel that we don't deserve to be into certain spaces just because of who we are. But I always tell people that the first thing to gain your confidence is to accept who you are, to accept whatever situation that you have, especially those things that you can't really change about yourself. When you get comfortable with those things, when you really accept those things, I guarantee you that you definitely become confident. Because being confident is just trusting yourself that you're capable of achieving like certain things. So that's the basic thing of confidence. So you really need to believe in yourself and tell yourself that I'm enough as I am, and I'm not going to be stopped by my circumstances or the things that are around me, because there are certain things in life that you can't really change. For example, I was really affected by my body, or like how I look. That was really affected my confidence. But the moment that I told myself that I can't really change anything about it, and my confidence just changed my whole world.
Indeed, and you've won so many awards as well, and you've gone out there. How have people been receiving you whenever you're talking to them? How have you seen the impact that you've made in people's lives?
I think I have really made a huge impact, because for me, whenever I give my speeches, like I say that I always like focus around accepting yourself, like self-love and all of that. So people, when I start speaking, people really, they really don't understand how am I this happy and I have this disability, how am I this happy. So I always try to like to even share my life story with people, because it wasn't really easy for me like growing up and all of that. So yeah, I really try to be honest with people, to be as open as possible, and people really relate to people who are open and people who are really honest. So yeah.
And you defining how happiness should just come within yourself, and it's
Yes,
not from
exactly.
anything that is
Yes,
out there.
exactly.
And that dynamite also comes in small packages.
Exactly.
Yes. Thank you so much, Sinikiwe, for
Thank
just giving
you.
us this time. We will be following up on everything that you'll be doing, and
Thank
just
you so
hoping
much.
for the best for everything. And congratulations on finally getting your license.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sinikiwe.